Alright, welcome everyone. Today I'm going to have a look at Total Warhammer 2, and we're going to be having a look at the new race, or one of the new legendary lords for the Beastmen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new Mortal Empires campaign, and let's go over to the Beastmen all the way over here to the right. So for the Beastmen we have 4 legendary lords that we can choose from. We have Kazrak the One-Eye, Morgur the Dark Omen, Morgur the Shadowgave, and of course the very new one, Taurox the Brass Bull. Now if we have a look at the race attributes here, maybe I won't keep it on Taurox because he tends to scream a lot. But let's have a read here of these race attributes. It says Herdstones and Blood Grounds. Raise herdstones in settlements to create blood grounds to ravage, thus enhancing your war herd in the name of the Dark Gods. Okay, that sounds really nice, but it doesn't really mean much in terms of what the actual mechanic is. What the actual mechanic is that when you destroy a settlement, you can then raise a herdstone, which is like a kind of building. And once you raise that building, then it creates a special kind of layer over the surrounding territory, which gives you some benefits depending on also then the buildings you build. Well, not really buildings because it's a herdstone, but you can spend some gold or spend some resources to increase some aspects of the herdstone to gain some benefits across the entire blood grounds. The second part is Dread, which says winning battles and completing objectives. Earns Dread to spend on expanding unit and hero capacities, recruiting legendary lords, or other upgrades. Okay, that one does actually make sense, and you can understand what that means. It's just a resource you gain, you use it to spend, and you can upgrade some things, you can buy some extra legendary lords. And then finally we have aggressive unit roster with a variety of fast-moving beasts and monsters. So if you compare to a different race, like say the dwarves, you know, they have a lot of armor, they're quite slow, they're good at staying in place and letting enemies come to them. Whereas when you play the Beastmen, you get a lot of fast units, you get a lot of things like Vanguard deployment. What this means then is you play in a more aggressive, fast-moving way where you can try to encircle your opponents, play in kind of sneaky, fast-moving ways, and not so much in the let your opponents come to you, but you are bringing everything to your opponent. So today I'm going to play as Morgur the Shadowgave. This is one of my favorite characters. I really enjoy playing as him. I think he's a very interesting guy with a lot of unique mechanics. If we have a look at his faction effects, he gets extra 4 extra Chaos Spawn. He gets an extra 8% replenishment rate, an extra 3 Chaos Corruption on all armies. So this is on all armies, the replenishment rate. The corruption is on all characters. And then you get cheaper horde building also for all armies. And he then gets a raiding stance is upgraded to Despoiler raiding stance, which spreads corruption and attrition. This is actually like a really interesting mechanic, I think, because when you play the Beastmen, you do want to spend a lot of time raiding to increase your income. But what this does is this gives your raiding stance much more power. Because as you are raiding, then you increase the amount of chaos corruption in the area you are raiding significantly. And you know, if we have a look here, we see that Morgur also gets an extra 5 chaos corruption already. And so really, when you put these things together, when you raid as Morgur, you can significantly increase the level of chaos corruption in a province or in a region just with your raiding stance. And once chaos corruption goes up to a certain level, then any units or any armies in those regions are going to start taking attrition. But the raiding stance also by itself causes attrition. So just by nature of having Morgur raiding in a region, any other armies that are not within a settlement there are going to start taking attrition damage as well. So this is a really nice upgrade to the rating stance for Morgur. It gives him a passive ability called Aura of Vile Transmutation. Now unfortunately we can't actually see what this passive ability does on this screen here. We can have a look when we load into the game with Morgur. He gets an extra 20% resistance for magic for all of the units in his army. His army is immune to any Athalloran and Awakened Forest attrition. So if you are seeking to destroy the Wood Elves, then this is a really nice bonus to have. Anytime you are within those forests, your army will not take any attrition. And if you've ever experienced the attrition that you can receive in those forests, you'll know that it's not insignificant and can actually, after a few turns, really end up wiping out a significant portion of your army's strength. Then finally, of course, we have that Morgur will always remain wounded for no more than one turn. So if Morgur is ever killed, if he ever dies in battle, you'll never wait more than one turn to be able to bring him back. And so you can actually use Morgur quite aggressively, because if he dies, it doesn't really matter. You wait one turn and he'll be right back there, bashing down the door, seeking to cause more chaos, corruption, and ruining people's day. So I'm going to start the campaign, this campaign with Morgur. And then we get a nice little lore paragraph here. So it says here, if the twisted beast lord's body is cut down, he is simply reborn elsewhere. And that's related to that mechanic specifically, where he's only wounded for one turn and no more than that. And then we get the only Queen Ariel of the Wood Elves truly understands that Morgur's evil is simply too powerful to be contained within a single corporeal form, and seeks to bring about his permanent destruction. But Morgur doesn't really care about that. He wants to destroy the Wood Elves too. And so then that, we can see, is also linked to Morgur's special ability to be immune to the attrition within those Wood Elf forests and the magical forests, the awakened forests.
Greetings to you, Morgur, eternal agent of change. You are reborn from chaos once again, that you may hasten the mutation of this world and bring ruin to its people. Man has ever been the true enemy of the Beastmen, Morgur.
One of the nice things I like about Morgur is that you start within Empire territory. I do particularly enjoy fighting against the Empire when playing as Beastmen. And although Khazrak does start also reasonably close, he is a bit, far down south, and the only human enemies you can fight are the border princes. So playing as Morgur, you get to start in the very northern parts of the Empire, plenty of Empire factions to fight against. And of course, if you then like to go in different directions, if you go to the north, you could fight Norska. If you go to the south, you could then of course go to Bretonnia, or even go to the east and fight more orcs and dwarves if you feel like doing that.
The generations yet unborn will scream in torment.
Alright, so here we are. This is what we get when we load onto the map, and we get this how they play pop up here, and this explains some of the mechanics of playing as Beastmen. So Beastmen don't actually have any settlements, so to speak, although the new mechanics do sort of give you something like that. But we'll see exactly what that is once we destroy one of the settlements first, and we can raise a herdstone. So it says here that can only form limited settlements. It's not really a settlement. Instead, you know, you can roam around. So you have this nice kind of freedom to just go wherever you would like to go, and you're not restricted to staying in one area. Unlike other factions, which, you know, they have their capital cities. You know, the Empire has Altdorf, the Dwarves have their Carax, and so on and so forth. And sometimes, you know, if your capital city is a good one, it tends to be so strong that abandoning it is not really going to benefit you in any way, and so you're forced to stay still, you know, in that one location. So playing as Beastmen lets you roam, go wherever you like, fight whoever you want to fight, and then, you know, if you're getting chased by enemies that are too strong, you even have some nice a nice stance that we can look at here, which is the hidden encampment. And once you enter into a hidden encampment, your army is hidden, you know. So this, and once that happens, you can't be seen on the campaign map again unless you are revealed. But essentially what that means is that any armies that are perhaps chasing you will stop chasing you. And they won't be able to find you. Maybe they will stumble directly upon you and you might get an ambush chance, but most of the time they're just going to go back home. This allows you to roam, to strike at targets that are weak, and then if you get yourself into a bad situation, you could perhaps use your beast paths movement mode that allows you to bypass or jump over unpassable territory, and then you can enter into your hidden encampment to then hide and make sure that nothing is chasing you anymore. So you get this kind of guerrilla warfare aspect or feel when you play the Beastmen. So let's see if it says anything further about blood grounds here. It looks like it does. Blood grounds are created wherever the Beastmen raise herdstones in settlements they have conquered. Once created, a herdstone region and others adjacent to it become part of a blood ground. Okay, yeah. Settlements raised within blood grounds provide devastation, which is converted to marks of ruination by performing rituals of ruin. Okay, so it's throwing a bit of a word salad at us there, and sometimes, you know, if you're a new player, all of these different things being thrown at you in a jumble like this can be a little bit hard to understand. So I'll be able to demonstrate for you exactly what that means in terms of the marks of ruination and the devastation and the blood grounds. Let's see, selecting any settlement will display the extent of the potential blood grounds if a herdstone is built there. Yeah, okay. So once we have built a herdstone, I'll be able to show you exactly what it means by the blood grounds there. And Dread is, I think, it's fairly easy to understand. It's just a special resource that you can use to buy things. The Beast Paths is the special movement that we can see down here. And so, you know, when you use the Beast Paths, we can see at the bottom there that it says you'll be immune to attrition. So it doesn't matter where your army is on the map, whether it's in the Chaos Wastes, whether it's in Norsca, whether it's in very high levels of Skaven corruption or vampiric corruption or any of those things. If your army is in the Beast Paths stance, it will not take any attrition, which can be really, really useful in certain situations. So we get this first chapter objective pop up here, and this is asking us to raise 4 settlements, and if we do that we'll get a bonus of 2000 favor. Now there are also usually some chapter bonuses that you can try to complete as well, and we can find out what those are by clicking on the objectives button here. And if we go over to the chapter objectives, this is the main chapter objective, which we just had the pop-up for here, which is raise 4 settlements. But then we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bonus objectives. So the first one is earn 2,500 favor from raiding. If we do that, we'll get 1,000 bonus favor. If we recruit a hero, again, a bonus 1,000. If we maintain 20 units, then that means essentially as long as you have 20 units, you know, at one time, you will then also get a bonus of 1,000 favor if you win 3 battles against Nordland, which is the faction that you actually start immediately next to here again. an extra bonus. And finally, if you destroy Nordland, you then get an extra bonus too. So that being said, from here we can have a look around on the map and see what is, immediately around us. And if you've played Warhammer before, you probably know that most of the time, when you start a new campaign, your army tends to start in range, immediately in range of another weak army that the developers think you should be able to kill in your first battle without really having to do much more. And so that's represented here by this army led by Theodoric Gorsa. Clicking on his army does not reveal all of the units he has, but we can see he does have 2 units of crossbowmen. So if I click on Morgur here, and I see if we can recruit anything. We can't recruit any regiments of renown at the moment. And we could recruit some units, but we would have to wait a turn to do that. Now, the units that we do immediately start with are just 1 Ungor herd, 2 Ungor spearman herds, some archers, the Centaurs with throwing axes, and these are actually armor-piercing missiles, so those are nice against armored units. The Razorgore herd, which is also armor-piercing, anti-infantry, but does come with rampage. So if it gets hurt, we can see here, if we mouse over this rampage trait, if this unit gets hurt, or when it gets hurt and enemies are nearby, it might go on a rampage. And so once it rampages, then it just attacks whatever it wants to attack, and you can't actually control the unit anymore. You can't stop it from attacking, you can't move it away. It's just kind of a bit crazy with bloodlust, and wants to kill whatever it can kill. But as long as it's not too damaged, it's unlikely to go on that rampage. So as long as you can manage its health fairly well, you don't really have to worry so much about that. Let's just close the old man's text there. Then finally we have the kind of flavor unit of Morgur the Shadowgave, which are the Chaos Spawn. I think these are really interesting and cool units, and that's also partly why I like to play Morgur. Of course, the Chaos Spawn are not I wouldn't say kind of any of the best units in the game, but they're certainly interesting, and they look interesting. And they are, we can see, anti-infantry, they have poison attacks, they are unbreakable. So they can't be made to run away ever, and they will fight to the last man. Or, not man, they will fight to the last spawn, I guess we should say. And although they are large units, we can see here, this is a unit of large entities, they have no forest penalty. So it says large units do not suffer penalties when moving through forest, simply smashing through the undergrowth instead. So most large units actually do have a forest penalty. The Chaos Spawn have this special trait, which means that they don't have that penalty, and so they can move through the forest just fine with no problems with that. So when we look at how far Morgur can move, represented by the yellow line here, we can actually see that we have 2 options. We can choose at this stage to either attack Theodoric here, and the Beastmen standard kind of movement and attacking stance actually comes with a chance to ambush. So for any army that is out in the open like this, like Theodoric here, if we choose to attack him, there is a chance. It's not guaranteed, and of course it is dependent on the terrain that you are standing in. So for example, if I move my mouse over the forest here, this tells us that if we try to ambush within this light forest, our success chance of ambushing is 70%. However, outside of the forest, where Theodoric is standing, is only 45%, which is almost 50. So let's say it's a coin flip as to whether we would ambush him or not. But alternatively, we could instead choose not to attack Theodoric and instead attack Dieter's Haven over here. We see that we do have enough movement range to go and attack this town if we so desire. If we click on the settlement here and we have a look at the garrison details, we can see that Dieter's Haven only has 5 units of infantry defending it, 2 swordsmen and 3 spearmen. And that would be an easier fight to win than, say, fighting a Lord and his 6 units, for which we don't know what they are. But to be honest, having the Chaos Spawn, having a Legendary Lord, who, Legendary Lords tend to be much, much stronger than Standard Lords. Having a Legendary Lord gives you, a significant advantage over the more generic Lords. And this army, like I said before, this army is placed here, and generally this is the case for all legendary lords in the game. This army is placed here because you can fight it and you can win this battle on your very first turn, and if you want to do that, you can do it. And I think that is what I'm going to do here. I am going to attack Theodoric Gorsa, but not quite yet. First, we're going to have a look at the Despoiler rating stats. Now we can see some more information about it. So it says armies in the raided region will suffer attrition. And in fact, if we click on this, we'll be able to see that in regards to Theodoric. If we get some income from it, it increases our Bestial Rage. And Bestial Rage is this bar here. If we mouse over it, it will also give us some more information. It tells us what the current value is, what the change per turn is, and it says Bestial Rage is the Beastman's primary means of achieving growth. Passivity and suffering battle casualties will cause Bestial Rage to drop and make it difficult to expand a horde. This is avoided by winning battles or adopting the raiding stance. And so we do actually have the horde building panel here. We have two choices. We have the army panel and the horde buildings. When we click on the horde buildings here, this shows us the buildings we can build, But to build each next tier of kind of encampment requires growth. And we get our next level of growth, or we get our next level of population surplus once growth reaches 20. And at the moment we are getting +4 growth per turn. So do the quick maths, and we can see that in about 5 turns we should have enough growth to gain 1 population surplus, with which then we can build the next tier of encampment. But if we instead spend our time in raiding stance, that will actually increase Bestial Rage by +3 per turn, and as Bestial Rage gets higher, your growth also gets higher. We can see this here. If Bestial Rage reaches 80, this horde will gain greatly increased growth and replenishment. So we have kind of like these lines represent 3 tiers of Bestial Rage. We can mouse over the second one here. If Bestial Rage rises above 40, the encampment will attract new followers and start to increase its growth. Okay, fairly standard. And then Disparate. With prolonged inactivity, this horde will struggle to attract followers. If Bestial Rage drops below 20, growth starts to become severely affected. Now, it doesn't actually tell you the exact numbers of what's going to happen, so we can't really say so much more about that. But in general, you do want to keep this Bestial Rage high. If you keep it high, you will increase the growth you gain per turn. And then as long as you have enough favor, favor is your gold for Beastmen. It's called favor, but it functions essentially exactly the same as gold. You use it to upgrade buildings and other things like that. So I think that's probably it for the things we can see immediately here. We do have the Rewards of Dread here. So this shows us what we can buy with the Dread resource once we have gained more. We can increase unit caps. We can buy new legendary lords, of course. So we have Kazrak, Malagor, and Torox here. There are some upgrades that you can buy for your herdstones. Now, having not placed any herdstones, there's no need to do that at the moment. And you get this kind of short tech tree that you can follow. Once you've bought this one, you can then purchase the next one, and then also purchase the next one. And you do get some nice benefits out of these upgrades here. Then finally you have items, and sorry, items are not bought with with Dread, although this is the rewards of Dread screen. Everything you buy here is bought with favor and not with Dread. And so you can see there are some things like some items like the mutated Gorgon hide, the Shardstone amulet. There's a banner here that you can use to place on units. You can get a follower for Morgur, which will give him these benefits, these bonuses. And it's up to you, you know, which ones you like, which ones you think would benefit you the most. The Champion's Essence here is a pretty nice one, I think. This passive ability, Drunken Bravado, gives you both Perfect Vigor. Perfect Vigor means, you know, when you equip this on a Lord or a hero, that Lord or hero will never lose vigor, will never become tired. They can run across the map back and forth at full speed for half an hour and nothing would change for them in that respect. But it also gives them regeneration. Now it does come with a kind of caveat that if their leadership is wavering, then it will stop working. But as long as they do have a reasonable amount of leadership, you get some very, very nice bonuses from this. Unfortunately, it does cost 10,000 favor, so it's not exactly cheap. But these are the things that you can now upgrade using either favor or dread. And we also have these challenges of the Dark Gods, but this is essentially your tech tree. And we can see actually nothing is available to research at the moment. But if we mouse over this one on the left, which is called Plight of the No-Horns, we can see in red text here, create a herdstone. So essentially, once we raise a settlement, once we create a herdstone, then this technology will unlock. We will be able to then research it, which will take 2 turns. Once that is researched, we will then also be able to research these further technologies for which this is a requirement. And you can mouse over all of these. This one is win 5 ambush battles, win 5 siege battles, perform 2 rituals of ruin. Rituals of ruin come from herdstones once you have them and you have destroyed enough settlements. And then you have some standalone unique technologies here with some different requirements. So create herdstones in 3 different climates, for example. And if you do that, you get some nice Winds of Magic power reserve bonus. If you win 4 battles in a single turn, then all of your characters get an extra 10% movement range, which is quite a nice one. Yeah, Burn is a really nice item, right? For sure. And this one here, perform 5 successful hostile agent actions. This will give you some extra benefits for your heroes and your agents. The Strong survive, have 3 characters reach rank 15, and that will get you an extra 20% dread from battles. But if you have Beastmen, you can of course peruse these at your leisure. And I think for now I'm just going to attack Theodoric. I'm going to hope that I get the ambush because I love ambush battles, but if not, that's fine. Should still be able to win this battle, no problem at all. So we got the ambush. I love ambushes. Ambushes are so fun, and they always turn out so brutally devastating for the receiving end. So we can now see all of the units that Theodoric has. He has 3 spearmen, 1 halberdiers unit, and 2 crossbowmen. Now, of course, the spearmen and the halberdiers are, you know, they have anti-large bonuses. They are good against large units. So sending, say, the Razorgore herd or the Chaos Spawn into them might not be, you know, the best choice, or at least those units will take extra damage from trying to fight those. If we like, we can have a look at the terrain before we load in. And so here we see that there's a thin path that the Empire forces will take, and we can choose to ambush them really at any point along this path. So let's load in to do this battle. I'm definitely feeling glad that I installed Warhammer onto my SSD at this stage. The load times are definitely acceptable. Okay. So here's the Empire army marching along this path here we see. And in ambush battles, actually, you don't have to immediately attack. In fact, as long as your units don't move and don't attack, I think, then the Empire forces will actually just keep marching along this path. And if you let them reach the end of this path, which is quite long, we can see, so you have a lot of different places where you can choose to ambush. If the Empire forces reach the end of this path, I think after that then the army will just set up in a kind of standard formation, and if you like you can then just have a standard, standard formation battle if you like. Of course, the ambush itself will save you a lot of casualties by allowing you to immediately attack and immediately swarm all around these units to break their morale, make them run away, and cause heavy casualties before they can really start fighting back. Now, I did say that these are all anti-large units, and these Razorgore herds, well, this Razorgore herd and the Chaos Spawn are both large units. And so sending them in to fight these units, I would say, is not maybe the best way or the best use of them. Instead, what we might do is if we put the Razorgore herd here on this side, and we can hold Alt and left click just to move them in formation. What we can do is we can have the Razorgore herd charge at the crossbowman here, and we can put the Chaos Spawn on this side. And then we're going to create a kind of a vice. So the Razorgore are going to charge from one side, the Chaos Spawn are going to charge from the other side, and the crossbowmen are going to be pancaked in the middle. Yeah, HDD times like are a real pain, huh? I really am genuinely glad I installed on my SSD for sure. So while the big units are making mincemeat of the crossbowmen, we can instead just try to tie up the halberdiers and the spearmen with our cheap Ungor units. So if I put the Ungor herd, let's say here, and the spearman herd also here, we are going to try and create another kind of pancake. But this one is not going to be so crushing. It's just going to try and hold them in place while the crossbowmen get minced. Let's put another one, let's say here. Slightly overlapping with the Chaos Spawn, but that's okay. And then say we can put the archers over here. Make sure they're facing the right way. This way. If we mouse over them, we get the cone that shows us where they can shoot. And so shooting into or onto these spearmen or halberdiers while they are also stuck in melee combat is really going to make their morale drop quite quickly and probably make them run away after 30 seconds or so, I hope. And then finally, Morgur the Shadowgave and the Centaurs with the throwing axes. So I'll also put the Centaurs over on this side. And although they do have a shorter range, what we can just do is get them first to move down, maybe into position here, and then throw their axes into the halberdiers who have been pancaked. So the Ungor herd is going to charge this way, and this Ungor herd is going to charge this way. But what that will do then is it will leave a kind of open space over here where the Centaurs are free to throw their axes into the halberdiers without really being at risk of hitting the Ungor herd, because they're not behind the Ungor herd. They have this kind of open tunnel vision where they can freely throw in, cause damage, cause morale damage. And so combining these four things, the two herds charging in, the archers shooting from their position here, and then the Centaurs moving and then also throwing their axes, should make these halberdiers quickly disintegrate, lose the morale, and panic and run away. And then we just have Morgur, And now we can have a look at some of Morgur's special abilities. So this is his Aura of Vile Transmutation. And if I bring him, let's bring him here. And if we mouse over his Aura of Vile Transmutation, we can see the radius. So it's actually a pretty reasonably sized radius, and it's just free damage, essentially. And so this is why I'm not putting Morgur on the left side to kind of run in and duel the Lord, because if I send Morgur into the center mass of this army, then all of these units are going to be within this Aura of Vile Transmutation radius. So all of these units are going to be taking damage over time, essentially for free. And free damage is always valuable. And it's not a small amount of damage. It is definitely a very reasonable ability. And so whenever you can, I would say you do want to put Morgur into the center of things. He's not super tanky, but this Aura of Vile Transmutation, used in the right way, can really turn the tide in your favor. Some of his other abilities are this Spirit Essence of Chaos, which is also pretty interesting. What it does is, well, or what it says is that essentially if there is an enemy unit that has less than 20% of its HP. I mean, this kind of explanation here is a little bit convoluted, I would say. It says cannot target if hero hit points are greater than 20. What that means is it works on units that have less than 20% of their hit points. That's what it means. It works if the unit is not a lord or a hero, so it only works on normal units. It can work on the spearmen, it can work on the halberdiers, it can work on the crossbowmen, it can't work on the lord. Okay? And what it does is, it summons a unit of Chaos Spawn for free. And doing so causes severe damage to the combatants. It activates automatically. You don't have to click anything. This will activate automatically. Essentially what it's doing is Morgur is changing a unit into Chaos Spawn, into a kind of temporarily summoned unit of Chaos Spawn. And so that's one extra free unit of Chaos Spawn that you can get every battle as soon as you can make one unit drop below 20% HP, and as long as they are within 60 meters of Morgur. So charging in for this kind of ambush here and immediately trying to make one unit get low on HP will allow this extra unit of Chaos Spawn to come out and start doing even more damage. The third one here is regeneration, so he regenerates health for free, which definitely makes him much tankier, but he does get a weakness to fire. Now that's not an issue in this battle because none of the enemy units have any fire damage. And then he has Woodsman, and that just essentially allows him to move through trees. Which is nice, but it's not such a super huge deal. Now there is one more thing that I need to do, which is I want to turn off the skirmish mode here. If skirmish mode is on, it can cause some issues sometimes, that your units will try to run away from enemy units instead of shooting like you want them to. So I'm not worried about either of these units, either the archers or the centaurs. I'm not worried about them dying or being attacked by enemy units. I'm the one in control here. This is my ambush, right? So I'm going to turn the skirmish mode off. Not that it's useless, but it's just not something that I want to use for this battle. And I'm also going to turn it off for the centaurs. Okay, so once we've done that, we can start the battle. And I recommend at least first just pausing immediately and then give all the orders to all of your units first. So I'm going to tell the Chaos Spawn to attack these bowmen. I'm going to tell this Razorgore herd to attack these bowmen. I'm going to tell the Ungor Spearman herd. Now, it works better in my experience for these things that for this kind of pancaking with the ambush, it works better if you ask your units to move rather than attack. So what I tend to do is I tend to do the hold Alt and left click And then if we drag, we can say just move in exactly the same formation that way. If I do the same for all of these units, they're just going to run into the infantry. They're going to keep their formation. And if the, maybe if the spearmen run off to the right, these units are not going to also veer off to the right and collide with my other infantry. They're just going to keep running. And so we can create this kind of pancake machine. I'll do the same with these ones here. Just moving. And I want Morgur to... He can charge. Let's just make him charge at the spearmen here. The Ungor Raiders to shoot the halberdiers, and the Centaurs to run down this way. And now that all of the units have their orders, we can press play. And off we go. So this effect here shows us that Morgur's special ability is damaging them. And here comes the pancake. Okay. So immediately the crossbowmen have lost all of their morale and are running away. Both of them are less than half HP already, and they are essentially being torn to pieces. As we can see by all the bodies and blood on the floor. And here is the summoned unit of Chaos Spawn. That's Morgur's special ability. You can tell them to now run in to here. Ask these Centaurs to come over here, target the spearmen. They are targeting the halberdiers, and they have been doing a great job. Almost all of the units now have lost their morale and are running away, kind of causing a chain rout effect here. There we go. And so now it won't be long until also the Lord decides that he's had enough, and this is not really a battle he wants to fight, and he's going to run away too. Until then, we'll just ask these units to try and finish off what they can. Another thing we can use here is, now that everything's run away, battle is won. If I just pause quickly, what we can do with the Centaurs here is we can take them off of the ranged mode, and we can change them to melee mode. And now that all of the enemy units are just, running away, it doesn't matter if the Centaurs are good in melee combat or not. We can just use them to run down the enemy units to get some extra kills. And this is a nice way of ensuring that the units that run away, they don't run away and still have half their health, half their models, and so on and so forth. So they're going to get chased down by these Centaurs by turning melee mode on. Let's have them chase the spearmen here. And there they go. And we can see that was a very, very fast battle. The charging from both sides, the archers shooting into the back, the Centaurs of course throwing their axes into the back as well, causes the morale to drop very, very quickly. And once one drops, the other one drops quicker. Once two drop, the others also then drop quicker. And this is what we call a chain rout. A lot of dead humans. And most of these units are dead. What I can use then is the Centaurs to also chase down the Lord here, so he doesn't get away scot-free. We'll just speed up the time to do that. And there we go, there's the dead Lord. Now we can end the battle, or it ends automatically. Oh, sorry, Burn. I have that automatic anti-caps thing on the Nightbot. So we lost only 82 units while killing 611. I think that's a good result. So we see by chasing them down, we ensured that they were all defeated. And now we can choose, got a nice extra item there. Now we can choose whether we want to devour to get some extra replenishment. which I think is not super necessary because there weren't many losses. Summon the Elector Counts! We can kill the captives for some extra bestial rage, and we remember that the bestial rage, once it gets higher, then we get some extra growth. Or we can just choose to sacrifice some captives for some extra favor. Now, a lot of the time this comes down to your own kind of style and what you're looking to achieve. From any victory, you will get a significant amount of bestial rage anyway, and we can see that here. From Battle 1, we got 18 bestial rage, okay? And so then when we look at this sacrifice captives, -4 bestial rage might seem like a negative, but when you've just gained 18, that -4 translates into +14. But you will also gain some extra favor to be able to spend on things, and that's pretty nice. So a lot of the time I tend to take sacrifice captives, unless my army, of course, has suffered significant casualties and I need them back up to fighting strength, in which case then I would prefer to choose devour captives. And the kill captives here, a lot of the time I don't find this to be super useful. It's only +4 bestial rage, and bestial rage is only really going to affect your growth. Do you need some extra growth so badly that you would rather give up 348 total favor? Personally, I would say no to that, and I would rather take the favor. There we go. Okay, good. So this one unit of spearmen, the 27 spearmen, did escape the ambush. They lived to tell the horrifying tale of the pancake, the ambush pancake, and Morgur did gain a level up from that. So if we go to his character details and his skills, here we have generally what's called the three trees, the yellow, red, and blue trees. Now personally, I always take this first blue tree skill. The extra 10% campaign movement range is really useful, and it doesn't actually so much affect anything in battle, but it can be the difference between being able to reach an enemy army to attack them this turn and not being able to, and then maybe getting them, that enemy army you want to attack, then maybe getting away. So for me, this first blue skill is always, the best one to take on every single lord every time. Extra 10% movement range on the campaign map. And I do actually have enough movement range here to finish off these spearmen. And although it is only 27 spearmen, every battle essentially that you win will be extra bestial rage, will be extra experience for your lord. So generally it tends to be a pretty solid choice, even if it is super easy. I'm not going to fight this one. We can just auto-resolve. There we go. We can even get 33 extra favor, not a huge difference. But we even got an extra item. That's very nice. What's this? Filth Mace. So this is an ability that you can use if the item is equipped, and it will last for 36 seconds. The effects will be plus 30% base damage, and you will cause terror, and you will have poison attacks. Now actually I think Morgur maybe already has poison attacks. Yes, he does. Does he also cause terror though? Or is it just fear, or is it none of those things? It's actually none of those things. So he does actually gain some benefit from this in that he can now cause terror. And terror can make low morale units actually flee away from battle for a few seconds, which can be pretty helpful. So we'll press OK. That's a nice item, and he did level up again. So now onto the second skill point. I tend not to want to take any more of these blue skills. We have extra raiding income. That's okay. Chance of stealing magic items, extra money from battle. Okay. reduced casualty from attrition, increased casualty replenishment rate. Okay, I mean, they're not bad. But if I can choose, usually a lot of the time I would prefer at least first to take some of the yellow tree, because Morgur actually has quite low armor. We see here he only has 15 armor. So if we take a thick-skinned, which with 2 points will give us plus 15 armor, you can actually double his armor. He only has 15 and you can plus 15, and you know, being able to double a unit's armor is always a pretty good thing. So I'm going to take Primeval Rage, and then after that I'll be able to start taking Thick-Skinned. And now I absolutely have no movement range left. There's nothing else I can really do at the moment other than I can choose to go into Hidden Encampment and maybe build something for my horde. So let's have a look here. So the only thing I have available is this head-on spikes, which is not bad by any means. Plus 20 dread per turn every turn, beginning from the very first turn that you play the game, is going to be pretty good. You know, by turn 10, that's going to be 200 extra dread, which is pretty reasonable. Now, it does cost 3,400 favor in order to do that. But in terms of long-term benefits, that building is pretty good. Alternatively, you could go for the Despoiler raiding stance, and doing that will give you some extra income, extra bestial rage. I hate Horde, non-settlement factions in Total War, but really want to try a Beastmen campaign. Well, why do you hate the Horde factions? Is what I would want to ask. Burnt says it's not dreadful. I would say it is dreadful. I mean, look, the whole mechanic is all about dread. So I would say it's incredibly dreadful. I think I'm gonna take the because the raiding at the moment is only 72 extra income. You know, it's not huge. It does increase the chaos corruption in the region, but I think by the time I've taken out Dieter's Haven and then also Solzenmund, I think by that time this place will be riddled with chaos corruption anyway, so it's not gonna make such a difference. But that extra dread per turn could actually be really nice, I think. So I'm gonna go for that. I'm gonna spend that 3,400. And then the other benefit of being in the encampment stance is that I can recruit some more units. So what I'll take is, I'll take another Ungor herd. I'll take maybe some Chaos Warhounds. Okay, yep. Not sure now. I'm thinking about either another Chaos Warhounds, maybe some more archers, or some spearmen. I can't decide. The idea of not having a centralized area, settlement, or borders. I mean, you do kind of have like a centralized settlement, which is centralized on your lord, so to speak. You know, if we look at the horde building panel here, once you level this up, you could say that this is your faction capital, so to speak. I mean, for me, I said earlier, my favorite thing about the horde factions is that you can go anywhere. You know, I don't have to stay here and fight Empire, although this is the area that I start. You don't have to stay here. I could just choose, you know, immediately after this, after I've end my turn and I get my movement points back, I could then just start hiking my way across the world. I could go and start causing some trouble for the elves over here. I could go and mess around with the dark elves, with the lizard men. I could go down to the desert and mess with the tomb kings. That's one of the really nice things that I like about Beastmen, is that, you know, if you are playing a settlement faction, you don't really have that opportunity to fight the other factions until you've expanded more, until you've built up more. But with Beastmen, you can just pick up and go anytime you like. And so that kind of freedom is something I definitely like about Beastmen. Alright, let's see. Gotta decide one more unit. Okay, let's just take the Spearman. Let's end the turn. Drinking my Thai Red Bull. If you haven't seen it, you can have a look here. It's a smaller can, and it's not fizzy at all. It's a bit syrupy, but I like it. All right, here we go. So now we've got the movement points back. We've got a few more units, 10 units in total, and Morgur, the extra one for 11. So now I am actually in range of Solzenmund. And Solzenmund is only a tier 1 settlement, although it is a full-size settlement, so it will have an extra size garrison. But even then, it's just 2 swordsmen, 4 spearmen, and 2 crossbowmen. And to be honest, I think I could still probably manage that. You don't have to. I could instead perhaps just stay in raiding stance and take a turn to move over here. Attack Dieter's Haven for the much easier battle. And you know, I think generally the way it's designed, or the way the developers were thinking of how players should play, or the easiest way to play it would probably be to destroy Dieter's Haven first. Once you've destroyed Dieter's Haven, you then will have another turn with which you can recruit some more units, maybe get your army up to 14 units total, and then on the turn after that, attack Solzenmund with your slightly larger size army. But it is possible to take Solzenmund on this turn anyway. Let me think. Dieter's Haven, Solzenmund. Dieter's Haven, Solzenmund. Solzenmund, Dieter's Haven, Dieter's Haven, Solzenmund. I guess what I'll show you actually is something interesting. It's a little bit cheesy, but it's something interesting that you can do with Morgur the Shadowgave related to his specific ability here, the Aura of Vile Transmutation. Let me just have a look at this Potion of Toughness. Well, that's nice. 21 seconds, pretty good defenses, and also restores a lot of HP. Okay. Let's change to Ambush Stance. Attack Solzenmund. And here we go. So there are 4 spearmen, 2 swordsmen, 2 crossbowmen in here. We can spend some time building siege towers if we want. Definitely don't recommend an auto-resolve for this. Let's have a look at the map. Scout the terrain. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Alright, so I guess I'm going to show you something a bit cheesy now. This is something that I like about Morgur. So I'm not going to build any siege towers. I don't need to, because there's something interesting that Morgur can do all by himself. Now, one of the other things about Morgur that you might not know is that he starts with very high missile resistance. 75% in fact, which is pretty damn huge. And so essentially what that means is he's only going to take 25% of any ranged damage that he receives. And that makes him a very good sponge. Essentially, you can use him just to absorb all of the ranged fire from enemy units, even to the point of causing enemy units just to run out of ammunition without really being able to damage him so much. But what I want to do here is, let me just see first if it's possible to hide the chaos spawn in the forest. It is. Is it possible to hide the pigs? Yes. And the wolves? Okay. Everything can be hidden in the forests here. I do like this map. Forests are very nice. So what we do is we take all of our units, we make sure that they have the hidden icon here. All of them except Morgur. And we just put Morgur alone here. Morgur is going to kill everyone all by himself, or almost kill everyone all by himself. How? He's going to do it with the aura of vile transmutation. How is he going to do that? Well, watch and see. So, because everything is hidden, what the AI tends to do is it wants to centralize or focus its forces where it knows your units are. So if it can only see one unit, then it will put all of its units, on the walls where it can to try and stop this one unit it can see. Hello QQ Taser, thanks for coming back. Nice to see you again. So let's start the battle and let's send Morgur to go and attack the gate by himself. Off he goes on his lonesome. Now these towers and these crossbowmen are going to shoot at him, but because he has, that 75% missile resistance, it's not really going to be very effective, and you'll see what I mean. We can watch his HP here. Not much is happening, right? Being shot by 2 towers and a unit of crossbowmen, and he's running directly at them. So far, he has lost about 100 HP, going down to 200. Once he reaches the gate, though, they won't be able to shoot him anymore, and he'll start regenerating his health. Now, because he is close to these units, they are within his vile transmutation aura, and they're gonna start taking damage. So what I'll do is I'll ask Morgur to attack the gate. He's not gonna do it very quickly, but that's just fine. That still works just fine. We'll speed up the time. I'm gonna keep going until the gate is maybe at around 90 something percent, and then I'll make him stop. In the meantime, we can watch the HP of the crossbowman and the spearman slowly dwindle. Wow, 11 viewers. Actually, my app says 6. If yours says 11, maybe let's take the difference and say it's 8. So here we go. This make sure I keep an eye on the gate damage so it doesn't just bust the gate open. But these soldiers are gonna start dropping dead very soon. They're all on low health now. Gate damage 75%, 80%, and now we will start seeing the crossbowmen just start dropping down dead. There we go. Oh dear, look at that. They all just they all died, and it spawned the unit of Chaos Spawn right here. I can get them now to go and attack the gate and to run inside and start attacking units. There we go. Okay, Chaos Spawn, in you go. Morgur also can go in. Why are they running out there? That's not what I said. Over here. In they go. And this is a free unit. This is a free summon that was just given to us by having killed those crossbowmen with the aura of vile transmutation. In they go. Hunting the swordsman like nothing. Tearing them into pieces. And so far, I haven't actually used any of the units that I brought into the battle other than Morgur. This Chaos Spawn unit is a free summon. Okay, and I'll run Morgur now into the center of this, or maybe to go and attack these crossbowmen. Off you go, Morgur. Very nice. And the summoned unit is destroyed. No big deal. That's some free damage already. And now that the army has been severely damaged, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the rest of my units. Now that there are no crossbowmen on the walls, in can come the rest of the units that were hiding in the forest over here. I'm just going to bring either the strong ones or the fast ones. So I'm asking the Razorgore Herd, the Chaos Warhounds, and the Chaos Spawn, because the Chaos Spawn are cool, to all just now run in the open gate. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if I really need them. It's just kind of a safety thing that I'm doing here. As there were no units on the walls at that time, the towers were not controlled, and when the towers are not controlled, they're not shooting. So these units took no damage from the towers either, because there were no infantry on the walls. In come the hounds, in come the Razorgore Herd. The infantry all starts running away because they got that route. And this is a very, very easy win. So we'll just get them to go move on to the spearmen here. Only 2 more units left really to deal with. It's a bit cheesy, but this is a nice aspect of Morgur. As long as you don't mind the cheese so much, it's a very easy way to win these siege battles without building any siege towers, no battering rams or anything like that. The Chaos Spawn now blocking the way out for these men that are trying to run away. Oh dear. And there we go. Victory. So in total, I lost some Chaos Warhounds. The Razorgore Herd got hurt, and that was it. It's a free, large settlement victory. And because it's going to be destroying the city, there's no need to chase the other units and make sure they die. They'll all be wiped out anyway. So we can just end the battle. So what was a valiant defeat on the auto-resolve turns into a decisive victory on the battlefield with only 22 losses. And that was without any siege equipment at all. Although I would say Morgur himself is a kind of siege equipment. So now we get to see the actual herdstone mechanic, because we can raise a settlement. Okay, that's fine, that's nice. Gift of Chaos. What's this? Melee defense and missile resistance for a unit. Okay, that's nice. I'm not gonna say no. Okay, so now we have the choice. We can loot and raise and advance, or raise the herdstone. And this actually is kind of like a resource mechanic, and we can see it at the top of the screen here as well. When you first start a campaign with the Beastmen, you only have 1 herdstone that you can place. But as you grow, as you increase and unlock things, you will get access to more than 1. But at the start, you only really need 1 anyway. I don't think you can do much more, even if you had more of them available. So if we just raise the herdstone now we'll be able to see what this new herdstone mechanic actually is. And so we can see now that Solzenmund actually becomes like a kind of Beastmen settlement, although it's not a settlement, is it? It's a herdstone. So we mouse over it, we actually get a garrison from the herdstone, and that then prevents other armies from, destroying it too easily. It's not a huge garrison to begin with, but as you upgrade the herdstone, which you need to do with the dread resource in the upgrades tab over here, this is how you can increase the level of the herdstones. You have to purchase these upgrades first. Now I only have 229 dread at the moment, so I can't get the level 2 herdstone. I don't need it right now. It's still only about the third turn. I'm not so worried about enemy armies attacking Solzenmund. But we can build a nice kind of extra enhancement. We get 4 choices. So I'll start at the left and move right. You have a choice of carrion offerings, and this will give you the replenishment rate. It will increase chaos corruption in the zone as well, which actually is fairly nice. You can do shamanic challenges, which will increase the Winds of Magic power reserve in all of the Bloodground regions, and it also gives you line of sight over all regions in the Bloodground. So let's just stop there and let's have a look at what the Bloodground is. So if we have a look here, this red territory that we see here is what is classified as the Bloodground. And so whenever you fight within the Bloodgrounds, you're going to benefit from whatever enhancements you've chosen to have within that. But we also see now these number and the kind of half-sun symbol above it. And what that means is, if you also raise any of these settlements, you will increase the resource that you will be able to gain from the Ritual of Ruin. So it says Ritual Locked. If we read what it says you are unable to perform a Ritual of Ruin here until you earn 10 Devastation. The Ritual of Ruin will convert local devastation into Marks of Ruination. Marks of Ruination is along the top here, okay? So you start with 0. If you can get up to 25 Ruination, you then reach Ruination level 2. Okay? And we see here that this unlocks additional unit recruitment capacity for these units. It doesn't mean that you can recruit those units. You still need the specific buildings or horde upgrades to do that, but it means that your capacity will be increased. So what we can infer then from that is that if the capacity is increased, that means that we can't just recruit an infinite amount of these kinds of units. There will only be a limited amount that we can recruit, such as when we tried to recruit some more Ungol, we saw there were only 2 that we could recruit rather than an infinite amount of, say, the archers or the chaos hounds. So if we go and we attack some of the other settlements around here, and we increase this number to above 10, so of course if we have 4, we would need to attack at least 2 other ones to get it above 10, then we will be able to activate this Ritual of Ruin, which will then actually, as a special effect on the other settlements here. And the special effect is essentially that once these other settlements are destroyed, you're not going to raise a herdstone there. But once you activate the ritual, those raised settlements will be locked as raised. And what that means then is that enemy armies or other factions' armies cannot colonize those ruins without first destroying the herdstone here at Solzenmund. So, if I give an example, if after this I went and destroyed Dietershaven, and I went and destroyed Norden, okay, that would give me enough, what's it called, devastation points? Yeah, devastation points to do the ritual. There wouldn't be a herdstone at Norden, there wouldn't be a herdstone at Dietershaven, but once I do the ritual, both Dietershaven and Norden will be locked as ruins, unable to be colonized until somebody, doesn't matter who, anybody, until some army manages to first destroy Solzenmund. So if I defend Solzenmund, either with my garrison or army or whatever, and it is never destroyed, those other two settlements will never be able to be colonized. Which is nice. It stops this kind of mechanic that used to happen in the past where you'd kind of feel like you were playing whack-a-mole all the time. You would destroy a settlement and go to the next one, and when you look at the settlement that you just destroyed, somebody's already colonized it. And so it's like, okay, fine, I'll go back and destroy this one again, and you look at the settlement you just came from and somebody's colonized that one. So it could feel like you just couldn't win in the past with the Beastmen. So this mechanic actually solves that problem rather nicely, I think. So let's have a look now. So this one gives you the line of sight over all regions in the Blood Ground, right? When we click on the Blood Grounds, we could see that all of this red territory here is the Blood Ground. So if we built that building, all of this territory would be revealed. We'd be able to see all of the units, all of the armies within this territory, and that can be really, really useful. However, a lot of the time I choose not to go with that one, and you'll see why. The third one here is the Rocking Pits. And so this gives you some bonuses to siege tower construction, to ammunition, reload time, missile damage. No, it doesn't give you a bonus to missile damage. It actually reduces the damage that towers in siege battles can do to you within these Blood Grounds. Of course, if you're playing Morgur, who has 75% missile resistance, yeah, you don't care so much about missile damage from the towers, at least not from level 1 towers. For upgraded towers, you might want to consider taking this. You could benefit from it. And then finally, this is the nice one that I really like. This one reduces the campaign movement range of all enemy armies that start their turn in this region. Okay, so you force them to not be able to move as far. Additionally, there is a small chance for a plague to break out at the start of each turn. Okay, this plague will not harm your army or any beastmen, will not harm any warriors of chaos, will not harm any Norscans. Now this is also really nice because you can see we actually start right next to Norsca, okay? So if there is a plague and it starts spreading to the settlements or armies in this area, and Norsca is here with their army too, it's not going to affect them. So you get this nice kind of, chaos cooperation going on. So you can work together with Norsca and Chaos, and you're spreading plagues all over the place, but it doesn't affect them, it just affects everybody else. And the plague actually is really nice. It severely increases chaos corruption, and it also causes damage, attrition damage to any armies within any settlement that has this plague. And so, the plagues actually spread as well. They're not just within one settlement. And so sometimes, you can build this upgrade and you have a look at the map and you see there are 5 empire settlements that have been infected with this plague. And all of their armies that are within these settlements are ticking away. Their health is ticking away, taking attrition from it as well, which makes it much easier for you to then go and assault this settlement and destroy them, because their army is already at half health. Talking a lot, of course. I do need to drink something. Okay, so I'm going to go with my favorite one. And it also has this nice extra, the final benefit, which is the Vigor in Battle. Winded for all non-warriors of Chaos, Beastmen, or Norscan units, and this is in all Blood Ground regions. All of these regions that are painted red at the moment, all enemy units and armies will start the battle winded. And if you don't know what the Vigor effect is, essentially it decreases their melee attack and melee defense, makes them easier to kill. So you're getting actually a pretty good battle bonus even from this Winds of Malady Herdstone enhancement. And then finally, it does also provide an extra garrison of 2 more Razor Gore herds. And this All of them do provide extra garrison units. This one is 3 Goreherd, this one is Bray Shaman and Harpies, this one is Centaurs, and as you upgrade them, of course, the garrison also increases in quality too. So here we have Centaurs with great weapons, here we have a Cygor even, which is really nice. Here we have a 3 Bested Goreherds and 2 Minotaurs with great weapons. It's a really, really good one. And this one has 3 Razor Goreherds and 2 Giants. Now I'd say this one is probably the best in terms of the garrison it provides, and with those extra units on top of the already provided garrison that you get from the upgraded herdstones, then these herdstones can be a real tough nut to crack for any armies that are looking to stop all these plagues that are being spread and all this corruption that's being spread and all these settlements that can't be colonized because of this herdstone. So this herdstone is just causing so many problems for all the surrounding regions. They're winded in battle. There are plagues being spread. There are settlements that can't be settled. There's chaos, corruption everywhere. And so this really makes you feel like a chaotic force to be reckoned with, because you are making an absolute mess of the surrounding area with your herdstone. So then you get that on top of the the despoiler raiding stance, which also spreads even more corruption. Of course, Morgur has extra chaos corruption too, and you can start to turn this northern part of the empire into an absolute wasteland within 10 to 20 turns, and that's what I personally enjoy doing. But Morgur did a level up here, so let's go get that armor skill. That's nice. There we go. And I think at this stage we're gonna have to end the turn, but maybe we can first build the Winds of Malady upgrade, and perhaps Morgur can even recruit some more units. Yes. So because he's inside the settlement here, you get both the horde recruitment and the local recruitment. But we can see the unit capacity limitations here. So although there are 3 slots, because I already have 2 of these Ungor Herd and I can't recruit more, I can actually only recruit 1, and I can't use those extra 2 slots. But I can still use my own personal local horde recruitment. So I'll grab an extra archer, I'll grab an extra Chaos Warhounds, another archer and another spearman herd. And after that, then maybe go and destroy Dieter's Haven. But because we met the requirements for this Plight of the No Horns, we can now also do the research, or begin the research. So let's do that as well. Okay. And from here we just end turn. So Beastmen is definitely my my favorite race to play at the moment, especially with these new herdstone mechanics. I personally find them a lot of fun. Like I said, you can turn any kind of area that you turn into a blood ground. You can make an absolute mess of it, and chaos, corruption everywhere, plagues being spread everywhere, all the armies taking attrition. It just really makes you feel good. It makes you feel powerful as the Beastmen faction. And if you played the Beastmen faction before the rework, I would describe Beastmen before the rework as pain. Definitely as pain. Whack-a-mole and pain. You didn't feel strong, you didn't feel like you had much impact on the campaign map, and that is now totally different with this rework, which I absolutely love. So it looks like we do have enough range to attack Dieter's Haven. There's a lord there, Humphrey von Altdorf. The garrison is only 5 units, so this would be a very easy battle. So I could auto-resolve, I think, for an easy win here. Let's see, let's put the Gift of Chaos, melee defense, missile resistance. Let's put it on the Chaos Spawn. Let's just auto-resolve this one. It's an easy battle to win. I don't really see much point in actually going to the battlefield for this one. A nice amount of favor. Level up. No items, but fine, that's okay. And so you see now we can't raise a Hearthstone. The Hearthstone resource has gone down to 0. To get that back, we have to complete the ritual first. To complete the ritual, we have to destroy at least 2 more. Not 2 more, we destroyed this one, or once this one's destroyed, that's 1. We'll have to destroy 1 more after this. Then we can complete the ritual, which will lock out these settlements from being resettled. And we will get the Hearthstone resource back, allowing us to then go somewhere else and raise a settlement and raise a new Hearthstone and expand the Blood Grounds. So I think I'll take the loot and raise that comes with extra favor. I don't particularly feel like I'm gonna benefit so much from the extra movement or replenishment rate, but an 800 extra favor I definitely would like, so I'll take this one. Alright, there we go. And Nordland has been destroyed. I believe that was one of the bonus objectives. And because we did that one, we did get that bonus 1000. We won 4 battles against Nordland, the extra 1000 there. If we can maintain 4 more units, we'll get this bonus. You recruit a hero and then earn 2500 from raiding. I'm not sure if that raiding is really achievable without spending a lot of turns doing nothing. Let's see, 1 more skill point here. And because we have leveled up now to level 5, we've also unlocked these extra special skills. So this one has some nice bonuses to attack and weapon strength, and the one after that is weapon strength for the whole army. That's a really, really strong skill there. Plus 10% weapon strength for your whole army is very nice. You know, especially if you consider that Morgur gets extra capacity for the Chaos Spawn units, right? And I think this one, the Freakish Mutations, will give an extra 12% weapon strength for Chaos Spawn. So you think plus 12% from this one with the melee attack, and then another plus 10% here, you're getting these Chaos Spawn strength up to pretty good levels, and you can have a lot of them in your army very early on. As soon as you can unlock the Chaos Spawn, you can have about 12 or 13 of them in Morgur's army, you know, very, very early on, which is a very kind of thematic army I find is quite fun to play with. Alternatively, you could go more defensively, and you can make Morgur's missile resistance just go into the ridiculous levels. You can actually even get his missile resistance up to 100%. And so once it's at 100%, you can just sit and let things shoot you, and it's not going to do any damage. A great way to waste your opponent's ammunition. And then the second skill here gives missile resistance to your whole army. Generally, I find that my units already do enough damage, you know, especially if you're having ambushes and you're using Morgur's aura of transmutation well, you can already do a lot of damage. There's no reason why you can't do more damage on top of that, but usually I prefer to get this extra missile resistance because it's funny, and then to also get some nice extra missile resistance for my army, because Chaos Spawn actually can tend to get a bit picked off by missiles. They don't have such great missile resistance. So I'll take this one first. I don't need to finish this thick-skinned yet. Alternatively, this Fueled by Blood skill is also a very nice one. increases the speed of all the units in your army, but it also reduces their vigor loss by 25%. So as they are moving, as they are fighting, of course all units lose vigor, and as their vigor decreases, they become less capable in battle. But with this skill, it will reduce at 25% less rate, and that means that maybe once your opponent's units are reaching this winded state, your units have not yet reached that state, and so they're going to have a kind of combat advantage over the other units they are fighting. Or perhaps they can run further across the map without reaching that winded state. So this both fueled by blood and these two options here, and these are mutually exclusive, by the way, Manbane and Rune of the True Beast. So if you choose Rune of the True Beast, you then will not be able to choose Manbane. So you're kind of making a decision here. Are you going for a more offensive kind of army and Lord, or are you going more defensive? I would say both of them are great choices, very strong, and it's more up to you which you prefer. I think I will take Fueled by Blood at the moment. I like this nice bonus for all the units in my army. Okay. So no movement, or not enough movement range really yet, but I should decide which of the other Bloodground settlements here I want to destroy next. I would say that probably Northern is fairly close, and with it being a minor settlement, it will also be reasonably easy to take. If we look at the garrison details here, we see it's only 5 units, which will be those, I think it's 3 spearmen and 2 crossbowmen, a very easy battle to win. And that will get those extra 4 ruination points, which will take this up to 12. So we see we gained 4 from Solzenmund by destroying Dieter's Haven. That's an extra 4, it's gone up to 8. But the ritual cannot be activated until you have at least 10. So destroying Northern then will take us up to 12. We can activate the ritual. Both Dieter's Haven and Northern then will be locked out, will not be able to be colonized until or if an enemy army can first destroy Solzenmund. So I'm just going to move Morgur a little bit, I guess, this way as much as I can. See if we can recruit some units while we're waiting. We're not in camp stance, so we can't. Let's just change to raiding stance. Now this is, of course, my territory, but there's nothing to lose. There are no buildings here that generate income, and so by raiding my own region, there's nothing to lose for myself. In fact, I'm just going to gain extra bestial rage. These don't need growth. There's no growth here. The extra stages, or the higher stages of the Herdstones, are unlocked through Dread. And in fact, we have 324 Dread at the moment. Let's see. We need 375 for Herdstone level 2. So perhaps after destroying Northern over here, we'll be able to unlock that and then increase the Solzenmund Herdstone up to tier 2. So I think that's it for what we can do for this turn. Let's end the turn. And the game decides it's going to be helpful to tell me that I am raiding in my own territory, as if I didn't know that, and as if it could affect the public order for which there is no public. There's no public for which to be ordered, and the Beastmen are certainly not ordered in any kind of way. Now we get the Stave of Ruinous Corruption quest, and to do this we have to sack or raise a greenskins settlement. I think the closest greenskins settlement is over here at Wrecker's Point. And I wonder if Wrecker's Point is within the Bloodgrounds. I think it's not. So what I could do here is go over to Northern, destroy Northern, then the ritual becomes unlocked, right? We can activate the ritual, lock out both Dieter's Haven and Northern. Have enough Dread then also to unlock the second tier of Herdstone, and then upgrade Soulsonmund with that. After that, then move across to Wrecker's Point. And then we're gonna start spreading this kind of this blood grounds across the northern side of the empire, and we'll be spreading plagues, it'll be spreading chaos, corruption, and it's gonna hopefully make an absolute mess of it. That's what I hope anyway. That's what I want to see. So let's see, can we reach northern, or can we enter that territory? I think no, not in raiding stance. The beast paths does not go further in this case. So let's just stay in raiding stance and move over there anyway. Extra research available. Ah, so close to being able to raid in Northern, but unfortunately not today. So the plight of the No-Horns finished. Now we can choose between these four. And you can see that it's kind of in a increasing amount of time or turns to research each one. So the Raining Blood only takes 4 turns, Worldbane 5 turns, Born to Lead 6 turns, and then on Cloven Hoof and Twisted Claw 7 turns. This one is nice, an extra 5% speed for all units, and if you remember, I just took the skill on Morgur that also increased speed by 5%. So combine them together, 10%, and Beastmen units tend to be already kind of fast anyway, or faster than similar units of other factions. So adding the fact that they're already kind of fast with these extra speed bonuses, and Beastmen can start to be this really rushy maneuver warfare kind of faction on the battlefield. So I do like this technology here. This one is for leadership, weapon strength, but only when fighting against dwarves, high elves, wood elves, dark elves, and men, but plus 10% for all armies. So that's actually a really good one, considering it only takes 5 turns, affects all units, all armies. That's a very strong technology. And then Raining Blood gives you ammunition and reload time for Ungor Raiders. Now Ungor Raiders are okay, but they're a very low tier unit, and they're not exactly the best kind of archers. They're not super strong archers like elves have, for example. And so a lot of the time, towards the mid game, you start to kind of filter out these archers, because you can do what they do with other units anyway. So a lot of the time, I tend to skip this technology unless I have absolutely nothing else that I can research. And so I'll go for the weapon strength first, and probably then the speed after that. Can't move, have to end the turn here. Alright, now we can recruit a hero. We can choose between a Gorbel or a Bray Shaman. I mean, a good Bray Shaman that, you can level up to get some nice spells is always going to be really helpful. But the Gorbel too is a super strong hero, is great at dueling and killing other lords and hero units. Whereas Morgur is better with his aura of transmutation at, of course, being in the thick of the melee and just trying to damage all the units around him. Not super great at dueling. So I think I'll take the Gorbel and hope that it comes with a good trait. Let's have a look. Gorbel or Riot? Hey, it's Yog Dog. Thank you for coming by. Nice to see you, man. Ooh. Poison attacks. Alright, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. And ambush chance for the local armies. Alright. I like that. It's not so bad, not so bad. Let's throw him in the army. And now we're gonna say goodbye to Norden. Let's grab the Rune of the True Beast. Change to normal attacking stance. I think the raiding stance. So generally, a lot of the time, we don't want to engage in battle in raiding stance, because what we can see here under immune to attrition is that the vigor in battle is winded. So all the units, all the lord, all the heroes, you know, they're gonna be winded when they start the battle, which is, again, it's decreasing their combat capabilities. So unless you want to kind of gimp yourself in battle before it even begins, you want to change to the normal Beastmen ambush stance before you attack. Norden... Oh no, I have to declare war? Oh dear. Oh no. Anyway. Just for fun, let's watch the Gorbel make a mess of these units. I do like these Minotaurs. What do you think? Can Morgur and the Gorbel take down these 5 units by themselves? I say yes. So where are they hiding? So we see actually here this this little symbol here. It represents Vanguard deployment. So usually you would have to deploy within this yellow area here, but if you have Vanguard deployment, you can deploy anywhere outside of this white line, including over on the left here. But there are also these little pockets on either corner that you can utilize with some fast units. So if we throw like some Chaos Warhounds, we can actually place them in the corner right here. We can place another one over in this corner. This is actually a really easy way to get some flanking attacks on units. So, you know, it tends to be that the AI will put archers and other things at the back of its army, but in this way you already have units behind them because you have that Vanguard deployment bonus. So I'll use the Warhounds in that sneaky way, and then just Morgur and the Gorbel are going to show us what they've got. Hopefully they don't die a horrible death. That would really kind of show me up at this stage. So I hope it goes well for me. Let's see. I don't know where the units are hiding. Oh, there they are. So let's say these Chaos Hounds come this way. These Chaos Hounds come this way. Mr. Morgur, you run into the center. Let's see if we can make them crowd around you so that they all die from your aura of vile transmutation. This Gorbel is actually really fast as well, 68 speed. Much faster than Morgur anyway. Off you go, laddie. In come the hounds. Release the hounds. Well, looks like he managed to get the attention of 2 units, but the rest are just ignoring him. This unit of swordsmen sees the giant Minotaur with the axe that is bigger than 2 of them put together, and they think, yeah, that seems like something I want to run towards. Maybe they are mentally ill or something, I don't know. And now let's bring in make these Warhounds run away. Morgur so far has taken approximately no damage, thanks to his regeneration. These poor swordsmen are getting chopped up into pieces. The gods have abandoned us, yes, I would say so. Alrighty then. Let's do a nice flanking attack with the hounds here. 1 hound at the front, 1 hound in the back. Morgur just sat there, pounding away, taking absolutely or almost no damage. Let's use his potion of toughness. Get some free health back again. Make him incredibly invincible. Okay, go attack these from behind. Recharge. Get rid of the morale. Make him run away. See if we can get a chain route going. And even though this is a unit of spearmen, I still don't think they're going to be able to do much to the Gore Bolt. There's the free unit of Chaos Spawn. Let's send them into. And that chain route is definitely coming. There we go. Two of them are running away. The other one's going to run away. Easy peasy. So I did lose some of the Chaos Warhounds. They're not exactly great line combat units. They're good at chasing things down or going in for those kinds of rear charges. You can use them to chase down archers as well. That's a good use for the Chaos Warhounds. Alright, there we go. So loot and raise again, just for the extra loot. And now it tells us that the Ritual of Ruin is available. We have caused enough devastation. Okay, jolly good. And it does tell us that, you know, by performing the ritual, that will prevent any colonization, both at Dieter's Haven and in Norden. Giant big thing floating in the air here to encourage us to press this perform ritual button. And who am I to argue with the giant floaty thing? Okay, lots of nice loot gained from this one. Man's Ruin, extra leadership against men. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so let's do this ritual. Once we do that, we will gain some extra ruination points. And once we can get it up to 25, like I said before, that will increase the capacity of these units that can be recruited. Off we go. Are you sure you want to? Yes, I'm pretty sure I want to. Okay, there we go. Jolly good. Okay, so now I do have enough dread, actually, to get the Herdstone upgrade over here. So if I purchase this, close the screen, go to Solzenmund, I can now freely upgrade. It doesn't cost anything to upgrade, so you can upgrade now to this second tier of Herdstone for free, and any further Herdstones that you create by raising, because we got the Herdstone shard back, now we can create a new Herdstone. Any settlement that we do that in, it will automatically be level 2, but because this one started at level 1, we have to manually upgrade it. So let's do that. Once we do that, we can even then increase this Winds of Malady enhancement as well, which will reduce the movement speed even further for armies in this region. So an upgrade for the Gorbel. I tend not to go with the blue tree for these heroes. I mean, they are okay. You get some extra bonuses for the out of army hero actions, but a lot of the time I just prefer to use the Gorbel in combat in the army, and so I'm just gonna take, you know, these skills here. When these skills become available, I'll take them too. But at the moment, there's only Blade Master available. Okay, so I do have enough growth, or I do have the population surplus, and enough favor as well to upgrade Morgur's encampment. So I'm definitely going to do that now. Once that's done, I'll then be able to build some different buildings, either to unlock Bray Shamans, or some chariots and centaurs, or the Razor Gore herd and harpies and the Chaos Hounds with poison. And this one then does, on the next upgrade, allow us to get the Chaos Spawn, which is Morgur's special unit. So it's definitely something that I always work towards first when playing as Morgur anyway. But that's all future talk. Can't get there yet, have to do this one first. So let's just do that. See if we can recruit any more units. I think we have this chapter objective still, right? Maintain 20 units. So if I get 3 more units in the army, I will get a free 1,000 favor. So let's just do 1, 2. I don't think I need any more archers. Let's just take 3. Okay. So that's some free money for that one. Let's end the turn. Oh yeah, for sure. They are so much better. 100 times better, Yogg. Like before the rework, Beastmen were just pain. Pain. That's all they were. Like if you like the feeling of pain, then you would play Beastmen before the rework. But now they are joy. Joy and pleasure and chaos and ruination, and you feel like you really have, some kind of impact on the world. Like you are just making a mess of all these territories, these blood grounds that you are making. It's a great feeling. So Morgur got another point. Now I can take this slug skin upgrade for the missile resistance, which is very nice. And I think I did get that bonus of 1,000. Yep, okay. And to complete the chapter, I just have to raise 2 more settlements. Okay. So Solzamund has upgraded to the level 2 Herdstone. I could spend 2,000 to increase the Winds of Malady up to Miasmic Rain. But to be honest, I don't think the actual upgrades that come from this, like from here to here, the only real difference is 1 more Razor Gore Herd in the garrison, and then the decreased movement speed. And when you only have 4,000 favor, and this is going to cost 2,000 to do it, like that kind of, the benefits I'm getting from that is not worth spending half of my current resources. So I'm gonna leave that as something available for me to upgrade later and not right now. And so then I do have this quest to raise something from the greenskins. So I think I'm going to move over to Wrecker's Point here. This is a greenskin settlement. And then I could drop another Herdstone onto Wrecker's Point, and that would then extend the blood grounds to not only cover this red area here, but then also to cover this area down here too. Maybe also extending to here. I'm not sure exactly how far it will go. But essentially this will have this nice large area of blood grounds. And already the benefits of this Winds of Malady enhancement, which is the small chance for a plague to break out, has occurred. We can see Middenheim now has the Plague of the Crow. And so all armies are suffering attrition, public order is -3, chaos corruption is +50. +50. Yeah, it's huge. So the chaos corruption is increasing by 8% every turn, going up to 92%. Of course, if it only lasts for 5 turns and it's going up by 8% each turn, it won't reach 92%, but it's still pretty damn good. And even the Laurelorn Forest here also has the Plague. Wonderful, I love that. So that's also increasing that chaos corruption. And because both of these settlements have the Plague, there's a chance even for it to spread further, to spread to the Brass Keep, to spread to Wolfenburg, to spread down here to the other settlements. I've even had the Plague spread as far as Altdorf sometimes, and it's so fun to see your Beastmen Plague just spreading itself out across the Empire through your blood grounds. Now where is Morgur? Here he is. Okay. there anything else to build? So I could build this den now. It would cost 3,400, but it would give me access to some different units. I'm not sure if I really specifically need these units right now. They are nice, but I don't think they really change so much about what I'm able to achieve with my army at this moment anyway. So I'm not going to spend that money. I only have 4,000. I don't want to spend 3,000 and have nothing left just yet anyway. I can always spend it later. So let's make our way over to Wrecker's Point. And we can even just move across to Wrecker's Point in Despoiler raiding stance so that we keep that bestial rage up. You see here, if we don't do anything, if we're spending a lot of time just moving and not fighting, then it can tend to decrease over time. But if you move in raiding stance, then you can kind of counteract that. So I'm going to change to raiding stance. I'm going to click over at Wrecker's Point. And that will take another couple of turns to get there. Okay, so let's just end this turn. Okay, the Dark Moon. This is one of the other mechanics the Beastmen get when the moon changes. Morsliebe's ascendant is usurping the sun's revered place in the firmament. The world is awash with its sick and terrible hue. Such an event is almost unheard of. It is a call to the Beastmen, a sign that the herd has an opportunity to dominate. Lead them, Beast Lord. Seize glory. Okay. So we have 4 different options. One is to replenish all damaged units. Don't really have any damaged units, so it's not going to be useful. This one increases the income from raiding by 120%. That one is really nice. And if you can take this one when you are near a settlement that makes a lot of money. And so by raiding that near that settlement, you would also make a lot of money. This extra 120% can really be a huge difference. And I'm actually half tempted now to take this benefit and even just move down to the Middenheim region and raid there for a few turns to make some easy money. There's Beastly Inclination, so just some extra battle stats for your armies. Actually, it's not a small difference, is it? That's 30% for melee infantry and 15 melee attack for all units. That's pretty damn good. And then All Must Fight, which increases your horde recruitment capacity. Essentially what that means, the capacity just means how many units can you recruit in one turn. So if you were looking to quickly recruit a bunch of units for a new lord that you have, then taking this benefit would be a good one, because you would get an extra 4 if you can already recruit 5 per turn. And this gives you +4, that's 9 per turn. In 2 turns you would have 18 units. So you can make an army kind of appear out of thin air, you know, with the click of a fingers by using this one. But I don't have any other lords or any other armies, so I wouldn't really get any benefit out of that one. I don't think I'm going to fight within 3 turns. Am I going to make it to Wrecker's Point in 3 turns? I'm not sure. Maybe. And I don't need to replenish anything, but this income raiding looks really nice. 120% extra income from raiding. Middenheim is just there. You know what? I've talked about it enough. I'm going to take it. Let's go and raid Middenheim. Middenheim. Which is currently under the effects of a plague. Can't quite reach it yet. Okay, have to wait for next turn, that's fine. Still get 5 turns of that increased raiding income anyway, which will be really good. I hope. Is Middenheim making much money? 40? Okay. I think this is a misplay, maybe. It's not making any money, so raiding it, even with 120% extra, won't really give us anything, I think. But let's see. Is Laurelon Forest? Oh, Laurelon Forest is making a lot, actually. Let's see, if we move into Middenheim, we can make 287 per turn. That's pretty good. But I think if we go into the forest here, we would make even more, right? This Middenheim's only making, let's see, province wealth 800. Okay. What's about this one? What's the province wealth? It's 600. Actually, okay, so I think it's gonna be better in Middenheim actually. So let's stay here. We can even just move over to Laurelon Forest and have a look if the spoils are better over there next turn anyway. And there's the Black Pit here too, which is nice because I don't have to raise Wrecker's Point. I just have to raise any orc settlement for this quest, so the Black Pit would be just fine as well. Fortunately, it is a major settlement, and it does have an army in it at the moment. If the plague would spread to it, that would help for sure. That's wishful thinking though at the moment. Let's see. Let's see if the elves have some better loot to take or not first. Okay, nice. Got that extra weapon strength when fighting against wood elves too. Wood elves and humans. Good, good, good. That's nice. Okay. Let's see. Do the elves have anything worth stealing? Oh my, 729 per turn. Yes, please. I will take that. Absolutely. Come to daddy. I'm going to stay right here for as long as this buff lasts if I'm getting an extra 729 per turn. Oh, yes, absolutely. Take that speed technology and end the turn. Don't need anything more right now. Free money from the elves. Looking for this plague to spread. Oh, it's spread to the Brass Keep now. Excellent. Hasn't spread to any of the other bordering settlements, it looked like, but still, the Brass Keep, Middenheim, Lala Forest, they all have the Plague of the Crow going on. So this is causing attrition for the armies, even though they are inside the settlement here. We can see they're actually even almost half health. So I could wait a turn and then even attack this forest. I wonder if I could take it. Let's see. I think the plague also affects the garrison units as well, I think. So if the garrison units are also half health, and the army garrisoned in here is half health, is that enough of a difference for my kind of weak tier 1 army to be able to take it? I wonder. It's worth a try. I'll spend another turn raiding, then maybe have a look at if it's possible to siege this forest. So we can see here that taking this Herdstone enhancement that Bread's Plague is actually like a nice mechanic for allowing you to then take further settlements that are around, because if they've been infected by the plague and the armies and the garrisons, or the garrison, there's not more than one, if the garrison has taken, you know, extra attrition from the plague, is only half health, the army is only half health, it's going to be much easier for you to then attack and take that settlement. But let's see. Let's save the game. Let's see what it's like attacking this settlement. Give the Gorbel his extra skill point first. Now, I'd like to take melee defense first on the Gorbel, because they have a pretty good charge bonus. And so we see that increases melee attack and damage when they charge, okay? So although the melee attack is only 39, it's going to be much higher than that when they charge, so when they first charge into battle. But it doesn't have any effect on melee defense. So while they can charge in and they can do a lot of damage, because the melee defense is a little bit low for a lord or a hero, they're also going to be hit quite easily, and they're going to take damage quite easily. And while they do have 100 armor, I find that having some extra melee defense is definitely helpful, because sometimes you can feel like the Gorbel is a little bit squishy in certain situations. So I'll take melee defense there. Let's have a look at this. Let's declare war, okay. Let's have a look at these units. Okay, so the army is full strength, unfortunately. But the garrison is half health. And even the auto-resolve says that this would be a Pyrrhic victory. I would lose Chaos Hounds, and I would lose the Ungol Herdsmen. And those are very, very easy to replace, actually. So I don't even need to use Morgur's cheese with his aura of transmutation to win this battle, I think. Let's see, let's just run a quick save and an auto resolve and see how that goes. So let's see, yep, the Chaos Hounds died, the Ungol Spearmen died, Morgur got 370 kills, got the Dragonbane gem, that's nice. So we know Morgur has the regeneration ability, but regeneration also gives you minus 20% fire resistance. So now with this Dragonbane gem, that is completely counteracted. In fact, fire resistance goes up to 15%. So that's actually a really nice item for Morgur to have. Not that you actually encounter fire damage so often, but if you do encounter fire damage and you're taking 20% extra of that kind of damage, you can sometimes, you know, really feel it. But this was a nice win, I think. That's pretty good. Let's 7,480. Okay, who could say no to that? Certainly not me. And that's bye-bye to those wood elves that were there. Nobody likes wood elves, let's be honest. Okay, faction destroyed, lovely. And now that I am quite low on units, and the units are quite low on HP, now we can really benefit from this hidden encampment stance. Because once we do this, nobody knows where we are. We are essentially invisible until revealed. And while in the hidden encampment, we can even... Oh, we have enough to upgrade the encampment again. Okay. That would cost 6,000. I wonder if I have enough money to both upgrade my encampment, to then buy this den, and then also buy the Pits of Horror to get this Chaos Spawn, because Morgur gets a very high capacity for Chaos Spawn. That's kind of his thing, right? How much would it cost? That would be 5,000. That would be 3,000. Okay. We've got 8,500 and 6,000. So we got like 14,500. We have 16. Alright. And this is turn 11. It would take... How many turns would it take to build these? They're all 1-turn builds, I think. Okay, 1 turn, 1 turn. Okay, so 1, 1, and 1. So 2 more turns. So we see here, by playing in this way even, before even the 15th turn, you can gain access to Chaos Spawn, and because Morgur is special like that, you can have about 12 or 13 of these Chaos Spawn in your army. So by turn 15, you've got this ridiculously strong, almost entirely Chaos Spawn based army to run wild with, which I think personally is very you know, thematic and fun to play with. So I'm gonna go with that. Let's try that one. End the turn. Somebody leveled up. That was Morgur. Let's see, what can he get now? So we've got Bloodlust unlocked. Some extra armor piercing weapon damage. Not a huge benefit to Morgur. Increases leadership aura size. Let's do thick skinned. Somebody followed. Zenmate VPN. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Let's see. Thick skin. So we get that extra armor. Morgur's armor is now doubled from 15 to 30. That's very nice. He has 95% missile resistance. Almost immune to missile damage, essentially. Wow. I love it. I love these special kinds of builds you can do with some some legendary lords. 95%. 95%. Wow. Alright, I'm not going to recruit actually any more units because I'm probably going to need to disband some of them even to fit all of my new Chaos Spawn units in. So I'm just going to end the turn here. There's Wolfric confederating the scaling. Okay, we have a choice here. Extra Chaos Corruption, but we lose Horde Growth. Or 1,000 favor. I think I'll take the favor. I don't really... I mean, when you're playing Morgur, who already has such high Chaos Corruption, the extra 5 is nice, but it's already really high already anyway, so it's not a huge benefit. With different heroes, lords, you know, you can get a little bit more out of that benefit, but I think I'll just take the favor there. Looking at Middenheim here, it's already up to 38% Chaos Corruption, and this is just because of Morgur. We see 16 points of Chaos Corruption just from my army here. Is quite high. We need one more upgrade to get these Chaos Spawn. What I could do actually, let's see. I could move a little bit closer to the Black Pit first. Do I want to take the Black Pit? Do I want to try and take the Black Pit? I think I do. I don't think that the army can be that strong by turn 12, right? They're just going to have orcs and goblins. And I think an army of Chaos Spawn will make mincemeat of that pretty well. So maybe I'll move a little bit closer first, and then go back into the hidden stance, the hidden encampment. Take the upgrade. Okay, it's still got that there. Let's end the turn. I think Morgur can even get some special followers that allow him to recruit even more Chaos Spawn. I've had that happen before as well. Right, let's see. How many? How many? So I can recruit an extra 9 Chaos Spawn. So, sorry, not an extra 9, an extra 8. And I only have 7 spaces, so I do need to disband a unit. Let's get rid of the Ungor Spearman herd. Oh, but I can also get a Feral Manticore as well, which are fun. So let's lose the Spearman herd, and let's lose an Archer. Let's get 5 more. 5 more Chaos Spawn. And on the next turn, a few more Chaos Spawn and the Manticore, and then let's attack the Black Pit. Thank you, QQ Taser. I appreciate the support. I mean, the whole army just left the Black Pit. It's like all my Christmases are coming at once here. I get my full army of the Chaos Spawn with a Manticore. 1, 2, 3 Manticore. I could even drop. You know, I'm not going to drop anything. Let's leave it at that. And let's end turn. Next turn, attack the Black Pit with all the Chaos Spawn. Dark Moon. Okay, let's see. So these options are not always the same. We've had the one before with some different options where we got the rating increase, the total replenishment, and things like this. This time we have casualty replenishment plus 50%, bestial rage plus 7, campaign movement range plus 40% for 3 turns. That's a really nice one. Or the dread cost of increasing the capacity of these units. The dread cost is reduced by 50%, which is okay if you really want to increase the capacity of those units specifically. Then reducing the dread cost by 50% can be really nice. But I'm not trying to buy more harpies or manticores or razorgore chariots, so that's not something really that's interesting to me for what I'm doing right now. So I think the best choice here would just be the campaign movement range. Plus 40% is not small. That's really a lot of extra movement range. So let's take that one. Okay. And this army filled with Chaos Spawn at only turn 15. So this is, I find like this is one of the really nice things about Morgur specifically, is if you can get enough money and you win enough battles to increase your bestial rage, which, you know, in turn increases your growth, such that you can then upgrade your encampment to level 3, and you then also have enough favor to build the den and this upgrade, the Pits of Horror. You then gain access to the Chaos Spawn, and Morgur specifically has extra capacity for Chaos Spawn by default. So we see here that I have 9 Chaos Spawn units, and it's only turn 15. I don't really think there are any, or no, there are some, but there are not many armies on the campaign map at this stage that would be able to do much against Morgur and 9 units of Chaos Spawn. So let's go have some fun with them in the Black Pit, and I think that will have to be the last battle for tonight. I do have some things that I have to go and do, but let's have a nice one, a funny one in the Black Pit. This is an act of war. Yep, it is, you're right. Let's go. So they do have a couple of orc biggins, but otherwise it is just standard orcs and archers. And if you saw the previous siege battle, you saw that we don't even need to build any of the siege towers or battering rams in order to bust through the gates. So I'm just gonna go straight to the battle. One of the benefits of having lords like this is you never have to wait for a siege. You can just bust straight through the gates and into their backyard and say, this is mine now. Oh, this is interesting. I like this map. It's quite pretty. I love the decor of the orcs when they take over these dwarven carracks. Okay, so let's see. Maybe let's do 50-50. Morgur and 5 Chaos Spawn on one gate, and maybe the Gore Bull and 4 Chaos Spawn out on the other gate. So here's Morgur. Here's 5 Chaos Spawn. Okay, that's fine. And here is the Gore Bull and 4 Chaos Spawn. Alrighty, yep, there we go. I love how these guys look. The Chaos Spawn for all the different factions actually looks slightly different. So these are the Beastmen specific Chaos Spawn, and they're all kind of hairy and horny and tails growing out of their back and stuff like that. Very nice model. Let's get the infantry just to provide a distraction, like they're going to do something by running at the walls, and that then might cause the AI to kind of try and spread their units out across the walls, and maybe then there'll be less archers targeting the Chaos Spawn and the Lords as they run in to destroy the gates. That's the idea anyway. I hope it works that way. We'll see. Put the archers, only the archers, over there. Turn off the skirmish mode so they don't feel the need to run away. Can't do much with centaurs because their throwing axes don't arc well, so it's hard for them to throw over the wall. Then they're not going to be so much use in this kind of battle. The Feral Manticore, however, lies, and so it has no need to wait for a gate to be destroyed. It can just fly straight in and get smashing. And the Razorgore herd, I guess, can just come in behind the Chaos Spawn and Gore Bull here. Let's turn the unit card off. Okay, let's start. Off you go to the gate. Off you boys go to this gate. You can climb the wall and climb the wall. You climb this wall. You climb this one. Bring these also up to the gate so they're not just sitting there getting shot. Send the Manticore in, and let's see if we can target some archers with the Manticore. Yeah, these guys look nice. The Goblin archers. Let's go give them a bad time. That is a that's a whole lot of Chaos Spawn. And that's only half of them. And so it begins. The units here are going to start taking damage because of Malagor's vile aura of transmutation. The archers are getting beaten up by the Manticore now. Love it. So let's see. Go back to his unit card. We can check the distance of the aura. There we go. So all of these units on the walls, all of the units behind the gates, as long as they are close enough, are just going to be taking free damage from this aura, which is always, I find to be really, really nice and helpful, and it's not a small amount of damage if it, continues over time. The gates are down already. Look at that. That's some speedy siege work. In you go, boys. Just run through. So instead of just like telling the Chaos Spawn to attack, I'm instead asking them to see if they can just run through. And then that way there will be less of a bottleneck. If you just ask them to attack, then they will just walk up and they will stop there, right? But if you try to ask them to move, sometimes you can get some better results out of that. And apparently victory is almost in our grasp already. Okay, everything's going just fine, I think. Yep, let's get Morgur to go attack here. Let's take some of these units. Let's see if we can move them up over here. And the Manticore now actually is rampaging. You see it has this trait on its unit card, and I did talk about it before. Once they take some damage, they can then just decide that they're not going to listen to you anymore, and they're just going to attack whoever they want to attack, which is fine. Okay, let's get these guys to go attack these archers. See if we can bring these ones in as well. These units over here, let's check on them. Messy. So I'll see if I can just move them. Move them. Get it? The cow, the gobble. It's a bad joke, I'm sorry. I apologize. Looking good, looking good. Off we go. Let's go up here. Let's follow these guys to attack over here. These guys are fighting the Goblin Shaman and the Orc Arab boys. But the good thing about the Chaos Spawn is that they're unbreakable. They never run away. So even if they are fighting a fight that they can't really win, they don't care. They're just monstrosities that are there to flail around and kill stuff, you know? They don't care if they're losing. It's irrelevant to them. Okay, it looks like my Ungors have scaled the walls here. Maybe we can get some flanking attacks going on. How's this section going? Looks like it's going just fine. Gobble still at full health, pretty much. And I would say this battle is almost over, especially if this leader loses his morale and runs away. Everything else will run away at the same time, I think. Yep, he's wavering. He suddenly gained a chunk of his morale back somehow. Don't know what happened there. Let's see, how's everything else? Okay. Yep, there we go, and it's done. Everything runs away all at once from the chain route. Easy win. The Chaos Spawn did take a lot of damage, but they are free to replace, so it doesn't really matter. The Manticore doing a pretty good job there actually, 134 kills. Morgur with 184. Couple of Chaos Spawn with more than 100 each as well. And I didn't use any of these units, didn't even need to. But taking this Orc settlement also will fulfill the requirement for the quest item as well, or to progress it to the next stage anyway. Usually quests for the special items aren't finished in one requirement. Okay, some nice loot there. And I might actually even just raise a herdstone here. I think this would be a reasonably good location for it. Let's do that. Nice, very nice. Okay. Challenge completed. I think that was a challenge to raise 4 settlements. This would be the 4th one, maybe. Yep, killed. Let's check the objective. Yeah, okay. No, this one's not done yet. The reward will be 2,000. Okay, let's see. So how far do the blood grounds here extend? Okay, so they don't actually go out to the left side here. They don't affect the western coast, but they do go all the way down actually to Karlberg and maybe Altdorf. I think they actually do sometimes extend further than you think, because it doesn't show you where they extend to if you haven't revealed that region. So like, I haven't revealed this region here, and it's possible that the blood grounds do extend down there. And it looks like while I was taking the Black Pit, the orcs took Weismund. And now I have 8 ruination points here, and of course to do the ritual you still need 10. Or you need 10 devastation. This counts as 8. So if I just destroy one more settlement, maybe Weismund, it's very close, I will then again be able to activate the ritual, and nobody will be able to settle Weismund until they destroy the Black Pit first. And because I have the upgrade, if you want here, I'll show you the upgrade for the herdstones here. So this is a level 2 herdstone now. Or I have the upgrade that allows me to have level 2 herdstones. And so before you get it, you have a level 1. Once you take this upgrade, which you buy with Dread, then you can manually upgrade your level 1 herdstone that you already have. But once you have the upgrade, any new herdstones that you create, so we created a new one here at the Black Pit, will automatically be at level 2. And level 2 comes with, a superior garrison. And each upgrade, of course, then comes with a superior garrison. But it also allows you to recruit some different units. So although I don't have the troop building that allows me to recruit gore herds, because I have this level 2 herdstone, I can still recruit gore herds from that, which is a nice kind of circumvention if you're not buying those buildings in your herd. So let's have a look at Morgur here. He got leveled up. What's left to choose? We got the 2 points in thick-skinned. I might take melee defense again, because a lot of Morgur's damage can really come from this ability, this Aura of Vile Transmutation. It's just free damage in this huge radius around it. And so as long as Morgur is alive, then this will still continue to damage enemies around him. So if you just keep increasing his survivability, so increase his armor, increase his melee defense so that attacks aren't hitting him, then he can just continue with this free damage on everything around him. And this can be like a nice way to build Morgur into this just kind of ticking time bomb that is not really a bomb because nothing happens at the end, but everything is just slowly dying around him. And as long as he's alive, that can continue to happen. So I think I will take the extra melee defense here. After that, they'll be able to get Banquet of Flesh, and then even more melee defense, more hit points as well, which would be pretty good, I think. Okay. So this has been fun, starting from all the way up here, fighting with Nordland, destroying Nordland, taking Solzenmund, and making sure both Dieter's Haven and Norden cannot be colonized by completing the ritual here, and then taking out the elves because they had the plague of the crow, thanks to the herd enhancement here, the herdstone enhancement, which has a chance to spread plague every turn, which is really helpful. The plague does a reasonable amount of attrition damage every turn to armies. It increases the chaos corruption, and even chaos corruption itself, if it reaches more than 50%, and it's about to reach that actually in Middenheim. If it goes above 50%, then any armies out in the open in those areas are also going to take chaos attrition too. So you get these nice benefits that are being applied to all the surrounding areas that you can then take advantage of. If armies are suffering an attrition, and even when they're trying to hide in their settlement, they're still taking attrition, they're getting down to low health, all their units are half health. It's going to be so much easier then for you to assault that settlement, for you to siege it and kill all the units inside, and reap the benefits of all the rewards, the favor, maybe placing more herdstones, expanding the blood grounds again. Unfortunately, this is going to have to be the end of my stream for tonight. So I hope you enjoyed learning about Beastmen and seeing how we can use them and how the different mechanics work for them. I certainly enjoy playing them. I think you can probably see that for yourself. But that's it. That's going to be it. So I'm just gonna say thank you for watching, and if you like the stream, if you like what I do here, you can follow, and I would appreciate that too. But for now, it's goodbye. So thanks for watching, and come back next time.